actors of the Trojan War. The three goddesses who competed the Golden of Apple. Athena promised Paris a wisdom, a goddess of wisdom who sided the Greeks. Aphrodite promised Paris the most beautiful woman in the world, in favored Trojan. Hera promised Paris a power, hated Trojan and supported Paris, a prince of Troy, and shot Achilles in hell. Helen, wife of Menelaus. Helen, wife of Menelaus. Menelaus, husband of Helen and king of Sparta. Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae and brother of Menelaus. Achilles, the son of the sea nymph Thetis and the king of the Myrmidons, Peleus. Famous for his courage, strength, and skill in battle.
Odysseus, the cunning king of Rhea and the famous in his courage and eloquence. Ajax, son of King Antelamon and Parubia and the strongest Greek soldier. Apollo, the god of music and sun, who sides with Trojan. Poseidon, who also favored Greeks.
The Trojan War is one of the famous stories in the ancient mythology, especially told in Homer's Iliad. It was a great war fought by a group of Greek leaders called the Achaeans against the city of Troy. The war started because of a fight between three goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, over a golden apple that was thrown by the goddess of strife at the wedding of Pelasgus and Thetis. The apple had the words for the fairest written on it. To settle the argument, Zeus sent the goddess to Paris, a young prince of Troy. Paris chose to give the apple to Aphrodite.
Menelaus, with the help of his powerful brother Agamemnon, gathered a large army of Greek leaders. They had all promised to help each protect Menelaus' marriage. When their attempts to resolve their issue peacefully failed, the Greek forces surrounded Troy and laid siege to it for 13 years. In the 10th year of the war, many great heroes had already died on both sides, including Achilles, Ajax, and Hector. Odysseus came up with a clever plan called the Trojan horse. The Greeks hide inside the horse and trick the Trojans into bringing it into their city. This led to the fall of Troy. The Greeks then attacked the city, killing many people and destroying secret places, which angered the gods. As a result, only a few of the Greeks' warriors made it back home safely, and those who did might not have been the lucky ones.
One day, three goddesses, Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena, competed for a golden apple that inscribed with the words "to the fairest." They asked Zeus, the king of the gods, to judge them, but he refused and sent them to Paris. Paris was dazzled by the goddesses, but each one offered him a bribe to choose. Hera promised him power, Athena promised him wisdom, and Aphrodite promised him the most beautiful woman in the world. Paris chose Aphrodite, and she told him that the woman he desired was Helen, the wife of Menelaus, the king of Sparta. Paris sailed to Sparta, where he was welcomed by Menelaus and Helen. He seduced Helen and convinced her to elope with him. They fled to Troy, taking with them a lot of treasure. Menelaus was furious and asked his brother Agamemnon, the king of Mycenae, to help him get his wife back. Agamemnon agreed and summoned all the kings and heroes of Greece to join him in a great expedition. Among them were Achilles, the son of the sea nymph Thetis and the king of Myrmidon. He was famous for his courage, strength, and skill in battle. Odysseus, the cunning king of Ithaca, he was famous for his cunning, eloquence, and courage, and Ajax, the son of King Telamon, he was the strongest Greek soldier. The Greek army sailed to Troy, but the Trojans refused to surrender Helen. The war lasted for 10 years, and many deaths of valor and war were done on both sides. The Greeks besieged the city but could not break through its wall. The Trojans defended their home but could not drive away the invader. The gods and goddesses also took part in the war, supporting their favorite mortals, such as Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, who supported the Greeks and helped them devise strategies and tactics. Aphrodite, the goddess of love, who favored Trojan, caused the war by promising the love of Helen. Apollo, the god of sun, music, and prophecy, who sided with the Trojans and sent plague to the Greek camp. Hera, the queen of the gods and wife of Zeus, who hated the Trojans and supported Greeks. Poseidon, who also favored Greeks and helped them build the famous wooden horse. There were many other gods and goddesses participated in the war, such as Ares, the god of war, Artemis, the god of hunt, Hermes, the god of message, Hephaestus, the god of metal work, Thetis, the mother of Achilles, and the Fates.
The war reached its climax when Achilles killed Hector, the noblest of the Trojans, and dragged his body around the walls of Troy. The Trojans mourned for their hero, and his father, King Priam, begged Achilles to return his son's body. Achilles relented, and a truce was made for the funeral. The war seemed to be a stalemate until Odysseus came up with a clever plan. He suggested that Greeks build a huge wooden horse and hide some of their best warriors inside it. Then they pretended to be sail away, leaving the horse as a gift of Trojans. The Trojans, thinking that he Greeks and had given up, would bring the horse into the city and celebrate their victory. But at night, the Greeks inside the horse would sneak out and open the gates for the rest of the army, who would return and sack the city. The plan worked. The Trojans fell for the trick and dragged the horse into their city. They ignored the warning of Cassandra, Perhestes, who pursued their dome, and of Leequan, a priest was killed by the two giant snakes sent by the gods. They faced that, and thence unaware of the danger. When the night filled, the Greeks inside the horse emerged and killed the guards. They signaled to their commands, who sailed back and stormed the city. The Trojans were caught of Card and Greeks slaughtered them mercilessly. They set the fire to buildings loaded, the treasures and enslaved the women and children Hippopotamus, son of Achilles and princess. Diamia killed Priam at his altar and threw his infant grandson from the walls. Pelocteocus, another archer from Greece, he killed Paris, prince of Troy, by shot him with poisoned arrow. But before Paris died, he shot arrow that wanted Achilles in his heel and the only vulnerable part of his body. Achilles died soon after his body was born on funeral pyre. Helen was taken back by Menelaus, who better life only a few pure chance escaped among them. Aeneas, a son of the Aphrodite who fought with his father, and son he later founded a new Troy in Italy from which the Romans claimed to be descended. The Trojan War was over, but the Greeks still had to face the wrath of the gods who are angry with them for their sacrilege and cruelty. Many of them died on their way home and faced the troubles and trials in their lands. Agamemnon was killed by his wife, Clemestra, who was avenging their daughter, Emilia, who he had sacrificed for the sake of the war. Odysseus, 14 years facing master and temptation before he finally returned to his faithful wife, Penelope, and his son, Telemachus. Many lost, and Helen also had a long and perilous journey. But but they eventually but they eventually reached Sparta and live live and perilous journey, but they eventually reach Sparta and live happily ever after.